Hey, I'm CDiinky. Alrighty guys, in today's video we are going to be going over all the current trinkets inside of Grounded 2. Some of these trinkets can either be crafted, found around the world, or have a very low % drop rate from certain creatures or resources. Now if you guys are enjoying this Grounded 2 type of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it, and let's jump straight into today's video. So we are first going to start off with both tokens found throughout the world. These are pretty much the exact same as the Omnium badges inside of Grounded 1, having one positive and one negative. The first token you can find in the world is going to be the Myrmecologist Token, which can be found inside of the snack bar anthill. You come inside this anthill in like the very first steps of Grounded 2, as you're going to need to come inside of here to get the ant buggy recipe for your soldier ant. So go in the cave, chuck a right, and you want to go straight down until you find the dead body, and the token will be on the body just like here in the video. The positive of the Myrmecologist Token is you're going to be dealing 10% extra damage to all ants inside the game, but the negative is going to be you're going to take 30% more damage. In my opinion, this token is pretty bad because a 10% damage increase to only ants, and currently in the game there's only red soldier ants and red worker ants. It is really not that good, especially considering you take 30% extra damage. The second token that can be found inside the world is going to be up in the Pine Hill. This is going to be the Eco Exploration Token, and it can be found inside of the Spider Den. In the video, we are going to be in the south entrance, so follow me and you will go ahead and find the token. What this token does is it increases your hauling strength by 5, but this only affects your character. You do not have an extra hauling strength on your buggy, which is a shame. And the negative side of the trinket is going to be you're going to deal 50% less damage to all of these spiders in the park. This is going to include the spiderlings, all weaver juniors, or weavers, and the wolf spider. And here is where you can find the token just on this dead omnium worker, but in my opinion, the trinket isn't really that good. Yes, you do have an extra 5 hauling strength, but that's only for your teenager or your character. By the time you collect this token, you should already have the red soldier ant, which can carry up to 12, so there really isn't a reason to be rocking this trinket at all. Now we are going to be going over all of the early game craftable trinkets. This is going to include the Sturdy Shell, the Nifty Needle, and the Astonishing Acid. To unlock these recipes, you are either going to need to analyze an acid gland, a thistle needle, or an acorn shell. So let's start with the Sturdy Shell. This is going to decrease friendly fire damage taken by 50%, pretty much cutting all the damage you take from your friends in half. But the downside of the trinket is you're going to have more threat detection, so creatures are more likely to attack you by 20%. So if you have this trinket equipped, more creatures are more likely going to attack you over your friends. The Nifty Needle is going to increase your charge bow attacks by 10%, giving you just a little bit of extra damage when using bows, and the Astonishing Acid Trinket is going to increase the damage you deal on your third hit in a 3-hit combo by 15%. Overall, these trinkets are really good, but the Sturdy Shell Trinket only works on WoE mode because currently inside of Grounded 2, friendly fire is only available in WoE mode, so if you're not playing in WoE mode, you don't need to use the Sturdy Shell at all. Now we are going to be talking about all the trinkets that can be dropped from natural resources, and we are going to start off with the Fluffy Dandelion Tuft, which can be cut down from dandelions, which has a 5% chance of dropping. Instead of a regular dandelion tuft, it will be the Fluffy Dandelion. With this trinket equipped, it'll be unlimited uses, so you won't need to go ahead and chop any more dandelions down. Once you equip this trinket, you're going to be able to use a dandelion tuft for as many times as you'd like. In my opinion, once you collect the Fluffy Dandelion Tuft, I would always keep it inside your inventory, as it's always super useful as having a Dandelion Tuft on standby. The next trinket is going to be the Everlasting Hogstopper, which gives you 10 food every 60 seconds infinitely, so you always have a food source with this trinket equipped, and it's obtained by either chopping up a billy hog with a 1% chance, this is not the rotten version, or a 2% chance from killing and looting the Cockroach Queen. Overall, this trinket is really handy if you cannot be bothered just getting food. It's especially handy in WoE mode, but it's not really that good if you're in mild or medium. The next trinket is going to be the Suspicious Mint Trinket, which adds a flat 15 fresh damage to all of your melee attacks, and how it's obtained is going to be destroying a fresh node with a 2% drop rate. This trinket can be really handy in the Mysterious Stranger boss fight, as they are weak to fresh, but other than that, this trinket really doesn't have much use in the game right now. Similar to the Suspicious Mint, we have the Spectacular Spicy Shard, which adds a flat 15 extra damage on top of all of your melee attacks, and the way it's obtained is going to be a 2% chance from all spiders spicy nodes. Overall, this trinket is really handy if you're going to verse a spider, as majority of the spiders in the park are going to be weak to spicy damage. And the last resource trinket currently inside of Grounded 2 is going to be the Fancy Fletchling, which decreases the time it takes to charge up bow attacks by 15%, and the way it's obtained is a 2% chance from tail crow feathers and a 1% chance from small crow feather pieces. This trinket can also be really handy if you rock it with the grub armor, which also decreases the time it takes to do bow attacks. So if you pair the Fancy Fletchling and the grub armor together, you're pretty much going to have a machine gun with a bow inside of Grounded 2. Now we are going to be going over the mid-game craftable trinkets, and we are going to start with the O.R.C Nullifier. To unlock the recipe for the O.R.C Nullifier, you're going to need to reach brain power level 6, and what this trinket does is it decreases all the O.R.C creatures' attacks by 20% for 5 seconds, which can be really handy in the mixer event and the raids the mysterious stranger sends at you. And the last mid-game craftable trinket is going to be the Volatile Capacitor, which can be unlocked once you reach brain power level 9. This trinket adds a flat 15 shock damage to all of your melee attacks, and when you do a charge attack against all creatures, you're going to deal a shockwave AoE that deals 50 damage, and the charge attack also does work against all of the other creatures inside the park, but this time it is nerfed slightly to deal 25 shock damage, 15 chopping damage, and for some reason there is no visual effect of the AoE electricity. Just like the O.R.C Nullifier, the Volatile Capacitor trinket can be very handy inside of the O.R.C mixer raids, and also the raids the mysterious stranger sends at you. Now it is time to go over the trinkets that some of the creatures can drop inside of Grounded 2, and we are going to start off with the Blistering Boiler. With this trinket equipped, every third hit in your 3-hit combo is going to deal an AoE spicy blast wave effect that is going to deal 25 spicy damage and increase the sizzle meter of enemies by 30. And this trinket is dropped by Bombardier Beetles with a 4% drop rate, but can be increased with a stuffed Bombardier Beetle rubbing it for a bunch of loot luck. In my opinion, this is currently the best trinket inside of Grounded 2. After every third hit, that sizzling shockwave and AoE damage, no other trinket can beat it. It's just the best in the game. The next trinket is going to be the Cleaving Claw, and what this trinket does is when you are in a fight using a two-handed weapon, when the creature is less than 20% health, you are going to gain 25% critical hit chance. And the way it's obtained is either taking out a Praying Mantis Nymph or an Orc variant at a 2% chance drop rate, but can be increased if you make a stuffed Mantis and rub it for its loot luck. Currently in the game, the Cleaving Claw doesn't really have much of an opportunity to shine, considering by the time the creatures are down to 20% health, another hit is going to take it out without a crit, but maybe in the future when bosses come out, this trinket could be extremely useful. The next trinket is going to be the Stabby Stinger, and what this trinket does is after every third hit in your 3-hit combo, you're going to apply 20 venom to creatures that aren't immune to it. And the way it's obtained is either a 4% chance from Northern Scorpions and their Orc variant, or a 5% chance from named Orc Scorpions inside of the Burgle Lab, but can be increased by making a Northern Scorpion stuffed variant and rubbing it for its loot luck. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Stabby Stinger, as a lot of the creatures inside the park are going to be either heavily resistant to the venom damage, or by the time the venom damage is fully stacked, the creature will already be dead. The next trinket is going to be the Shivering Scale, and what this trinket does is melee charge attacks emit an AoE effect that deals 25 fresh damage, and it increases the chill meter of the enemy by 30. And the way it's obtained is going to be a 4% chance by looting either a butterfly or its Orc variant, but can be increased with a stuffed butterfly getting its loot luck. This trinket can be really handy when initiating fights or going ahead and doing a charge attack to stun an enemy out of its block, but other than that, this trinket isn't really useful. And the final trinket currently inside of Grounded 2 is going to be the Roach Rage trinket, and what this trinket does is when the health bar starts flashing at less than 20% health, your damage is going to be increased by 15% for 15 seconds. However, this effect can be reset if you get hit by an enemy, block their attack, or perfect parry their attack as well. And this trinket is obtained by taking out the Orc Cockroach Queen inside of the Network Center Lab with a 100% drop rate. This trinket is 100% needed if you're trying to get the maximum damage build inside the game currently, but I do wish the trinket didn't have a 15-second timer, but it's always active when you're below 20% health. And that there is going to be the end of today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and heck, even a comment down below. I would really appreciate that. And now a massive shout out to my channel members and my tier 3 members, Idiot Plays, The Stitchman, Was, and Coco. I appreciate you guys a lot. And once again, a massive thank you to the Apex of Predators for all of the information for this trinket video. I couldn't have done it without him. But yeah, with all that said, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video.